Hey guys, this is Olive. Just wanted to give you a little intro into Earth space and kind of a description of the course and how it's going to go, uh, so that you have kind of an idea what's in store for you, how it's going to be graded, how it's going to be laid out, and what you can see along the way. You can expect to learn. Um, for starters, just want to talk to you a little bit. Why Earth space? Why would you bother to take this science class? You can take a lot of other classes, and why even bother to have an Earth space class in the first place? I'll come back to this slide, but for starters, a lot of things inspired me to make this class. One of the things that inspired me is I was always into sci-fi, science fiction movies. And Star Wars came out when I was a third grader, but I grew up watching Star Trek, and then as I got older, sci-fi just got better and better and better and better as technology advanced. And I've always enjoyed sci-fi. It's inspired me to look at space differently and just see some different potential there. But a lot of other things happened during the course of my life that have kind of encouraged me to teach this class as well. The lunar landings took place in the early '70s and late '60s, and that was right about the time I was born, and then just thinking about school. Mount St. Helens erupted. That was a huge geological event, and that happened when I was a sixth grader and living here in Oregon. So Mount St. Helens was a big impactor too. The discovery of hydrothermal vents down at the bottom of the ocean, fascinating to me. Just the idea of volcanic energy making life in a place that's basically uninhabitable. And then space advancements. The one down here in the lower left here is the International Space Station, which started to be built in the late '90s and is now big, the size of a football field. So all those are different things that inspired me to kind of think about teaching the class. One of the biggest inspirations, to go back to this original slide, I was teaching at McNary about 20 years ago, and gave the kids an assignment to research a space mission. And one of the kids researched Venera 9, and the fact that it had landed. It was a Russian space project that landed on Venus successfully and took pictures of Venus. Venera 7 did, and same with Venera 9. And I was at the time about 33, 34 years old, and I thought the kid was making it up. I thought he was falsifying information. And at the time, the internet was a little bit newer, and I started looking it up and looking into it, and only to find that I was the one that was wrong. The Russians had landed on Venus. And it occurred to me I'd gone through studying in the Dallas School District, growing up in the Dallas School District, then on to Oregon State, and then on to Portland State, and all that time I had no idea that humans had ever put a probe that had landed, an unmanned probe, on Venus. It just made me wonder, what else didn't I know, and how do I have so many holes in being a science guy? How many holes do I have in my knowledge of space and space exploration? So that kind of got me interested in the class, and there's a lot to learn. The way this class is set up, so you'll have 6 projects, and these projects make up the bulk of your grade. And the projects are designed to be 2.5 week long projects. You kind of pace yourself. You can fall behind if you wish, but you're just going to be impacting your projects later on, their quality and the amount of time that you have on them. So try to stay in that pattern where you're working on a project and wrapping it up about every 2 to 2.5 weeks. There's also daily research. So 2 times a week when we meet, you'll be given an assignment that you have to submit, and that's going to be 25% of your grade. The assignments aren't meant to be punitive or anything like that, but they're meant to guide you along. They're always applicable to whichever project that we're working on. So when we're working on project 1, all of those those little assignments are designed to kind of give you scaffolding and framework to work your way through project 1. So a typical week in Earth space this year, we're going to be meeting on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Monday and Thursday, we're going to have a Zoom meeting, and on those days, you're going to be assigned a task, an initial task, and that task is designed to last anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes. Sometimes a movie that goes a little bit longer, and then also I'm available for you to ask questions about the project we're working on. And if you want to, you can schedule to meet with me a one-on-one Zoom meeting that'll be recorded and everything. But uh, that will be an opportunity for you to present your slideshow, your project. Right now, other than Google Slides, I don't know with distance learning another way to do projects, but we might come up with something. But anyway, you'll schedule that with me at that time. When you're ready to present a project, you'll schedule it with me in the chat during our Zoom meetings, or even if you just want to speak up during our Zoom meetings, and I'll book you and we'll do it. Then on Thursdays, or excuse me, on Tuesdays and Fridays, we also meet 1:30 to 2:30, and that's when I'm just going to present material to you that's supposed to assist you in whatever project we're working on. The idea being that you can use that as additional resources to help you through your projects. Talk a little bit about Project One. Project One is called Layers of the Atmosphere, Layers of the Earth. And the project overview, you're supposed to basically describe. I'm going to leave it here for a second, and you guys can always come back to this and watch this. This is just a recording. So this is a description of Project One. It's also available in Mod One, the first module on Canvas. You can find a description of it. But this is the atmospheric layers portion, and this is the information that you're going to include in your presentation. When you finish it, when you wrap it up, this will also be included in your presentation for Project One. So this is the layers of the Earth. You're going to research this stuff and find out about it. And this is the atmospheric layers. You'll research that and find out about it. So that's a typical project in here. You'll do this research and this research, and then you'll present it to me on Google Slides. And it's a lot of stuff. It's basically my thought process is that you put 2 good weeks into it and you work your tail off, and you're going to present a pretty good project and show me that you've got a pretty high knowledge level. So there's rubrics, 5 and a 4, a 3, a 2, and a 1. So if you really know your stuff and you're very thorough, actually going overboard and telling me a little bit more than I anticipated, you're in the 5 zone. 4 means you're covering the material. 3 means you're covering the material, but you've got gaps and maybe not particularly thorough. 2 means I could find a lot of missing stuff, and 1 means you were in a hurry. So that's kind of the rubric on most of these, the breakdown. As you're making your slideshow, if you find some stuff as you're going through it that's particularly interesting, feel free to expound on that. The reason I show a weather balloon there on your right is one of my students one time was studying layers of the atmosphere, and it told him that in this particular layer of the atmosphere is where you'll find weather balloons, and he was like, "Weather balloons? What's a weather balloon?" He dug deeper and went kind of off on a tangent during his presentation about weather balloons. But got into them. You could tell he got into them, and he'd learned quite a bit of stuff that he had not known just because it had sparked his interest. If you do that, I like that. That's good stuff. That means you took the framework that I gave you, but you decided, you know what? This made me interested in this topic, and so I learned an awful lot about this topic, and that's good stuff. I like that. So. Once you finish your slideshow, just wrap it up with your resources that you used along the way. You know, as you researched, you used a lot of different resources on the internet, and just give me that list. So finish your slideshows by citing your resources, and that's where you kind of put a yeah, you hammer your nail in a little bit all the way in, and that's how you're going to get your A. So anyway, back to project one, layers of the atmosphere and layers of the earth. And that's kind of our first 2 weeks, what we're going to be studying. After that, we go project two. You have a couple of choices on project two. Project two, you can break down the Ring of Fire for me and tell me all about the Ring of Fire. And or on project two, you can just take Oregon and its geography, the Cascade Range, the coastal range, and all the plates, the tectonic plates below Oregon. So you can just be specific and key in on Oregon, or you can look at the entire Pacific plates, all the plates around the Pacific Ocean. So that's project two. Project three, you're going to pick a cycle. It could be the nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle, water cycle, the rock cycle, and you're going to break that down for me. During that 2 weeks, you'll be getting daily lessons on each of those cycles. So you're going to learn a little bit about every cycle, but the one that you choose to do your project on, that's the one that I want you to be the most knowledgeable on. Project four, it's just you're going to talk about the relationship between Earth, the Moon, and the Sun. So we're actually going to start to leave the Earth at that point. The relationship between the Earth, the Moon, and the Sun, and how obviously it causes tides to happen. Also seasons. Why do we have seasons? Just all that stuff. Tell me about the makeup of the Sun. Tell me about the composition of the Moon and all the different plans for the future of exploration of the moon. So the Armistice program and things like that. And then the sun, current, present studies that we have on the sun. We actually have a satellite there now. So anyway, that's project four. Project five, you're going to talk about a planet in our solar system. You'll pick one of the planets in our solar system, aside from Earth, obviously, and you're going to have a pretty in-depth knowledge of that planet. 2 weeks worth of knowledge on that planet. So a lot more than you currently do know about that planet. The last presentation is called Pick a Phenomenon. So you'll pick anything from comets, asteroid belts, to supernova, to any kind of thing, galaxies, dark matter, anything in our universe that's kind of interesting, but way out there, and the kind of thing that you've heard about your whole life, but don't really know a lot about it. So if you have trouble picking a phenomenon that's in the universe, I can help you with that too. I've got lots of ideas, and I've seen some pretty good presentations over the years. So anyway, that's a description of the course. I hope that helps, and I'll hear more from you as we go. Thank you.